Good morning.
Good morning.
My name is Dave Kessling, and I'm here to discuss item 8E. How much time and taxpayer money, as was stated by the last gentleman, has your city legal counsel lost, and for what? How much taxpayer money has been wasted on trying to keep everything you do secret? Government was created to protect the governed, not the governing. How much money has been wasted to fight free speech and peaceful protest, essential for the freedoms we have in this country? I can remember when the city of Punta Gorda, with the help of their attorney, David Levin, trespassed their first two victims. Two gentlemen were trespassed for their entire lives from the city hall. All they were doing was quietly and respectfully filming what public servants were doing on the taxpayers' dime, and doing some interviews with the city administrator, who stated an open-door policy. The city administrator embarrassed himself and the city in those interviews, not the current one. The city council had an emergency meeting with their attorney and followed his recommendations to create their unconstitutional trespass ordinance, specifically designed to trespass these two gentlemen. The city attorney also tried to get these two reporters on the federal crime of wiretapping. Our state attorney replied to that request by stating that filming was an essential and constitutionally protected right. Levin still dug in his heels, argued back, and said that he disagreed, which could have easily led the city council to waste yet more money on that imaginary quest. This will come back to bite you guys still. Then along came the ridiculously unconstitutional offensive word ordinance. No matter what the evidence and law, he still argues that he's right, even when everyone else that knows everything about American values and or law has proven him wrong. How much money has been wasted? How many rights have been trampled on due to the ridiculous opinions and highly expensive advice of this lawyer? Probably speaking to deaf ears, but you all need to find an attorney that will represent the people under the supreme laws of our country and state, not based on the elitist whims of a few council members and their friends and how they feel others should behave and live. Many in Punta Gorda don't seem to understand how important each and every one of their rights and the rights of their neighbors are, or how much of their money is being wasted and flat out used directly against the people. Please reconsider the city attorney's contract, whatever the cost. You'll save money and embarrassment in the long run. And Mr. Kaharski, who won't back down on this activity, and the rest of you, you may even protect yourself from involvement in criminal activity, as some of us still believe violations of the Constitution are. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Michael Hirsch in Seminole Lakes. I'd still like to see the city provide an accounting of what this whole free speech fiasco has cost us, including attorney's fees, enforcement costs, police overtime costs, settlement costs, court costs, everything. So we have facts to deal with, and it should be in a very quickly upcoming weekly report.
Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Susan Hutt. I'm a resident of Charlotte County. I'm here today because I've been following what I refer to as the City of Punta Gorda's banning of freedom of speech ordinance. More specifically, it should have probably been called Shut Andrew Sheep's Mouth rule. I support firing your city attorney, your Punta Gorda attorney, Mr. Levin. I remember when the board enacted the no freedom of speech in your town into law, or ordinance, whatever you call it. I call it the abolishment of the First Amendment to our Constitution. It is time to fire your sitting attorney, who has been loyal to this board for way too long. He has done your bidding to create the rule to ban freedom of speech. He has, and apparently you all approved of it, except Mr. Dryberg, who is not on the board. He represented you as you required and wished, rather than informing you of the law. Now that Punta Gorda and Punta Gorda Police Department have done all they can to enforce banning freedom of speech, it is time to put an end to this tyranny and fire Mr. Levin. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
The second item I'd like to speak about, when I saw the article in the paper about Mr. Levin, I'm no stranger to this council. I usually try to stay very quiet. One of my first dealings was during the unconstitutional mask mandate of this board. It has been shot down in federal court. I'm one of the founding members of U.S. Freedom Flyers. We have fought not only for mask and vaccine mandate freedoms throughout this nation, which is provided in our U.S. Constitution, but this board sought fit to violate our constitutional rights with that at the behest of Mr. Levin. Secondly, when the sign ordinance came out, while I may not like how somebody chooses to protest, and I don't agree what they have to protest about, they have the right to protest it. Because in 1776, had our founding fathers not protested what was going on in England, we would not have the great nation and the Constitution that we have. I'd like this board to seriously consider that next time they take advice from Mr. Levin. Thank you, and you all have a wonderful day.